Welcome back, everybody. Episode 53, Light Warriors Unleashed podcast. And if you are new here, welcome. My name is Colleen Lindberg, and I am the host. And let's call me the adventurer in this podcast. I'm going to say because I like to push a line, and today's podcast episode does that in a different way today. For those of you guys that are channelers, that are healers, that are doing spiritual work in the world, that are really increasing your intuitive flow, this one is for you about paying attention to who the fuck you're working with in channeling energy and start to be more diligent in your protocols. And some of you need to fucking upgrade your clearing and protection protocols in your world because you are channeling energies that are fucking not of love, light, and truth. And they're speaking to you in your ear right now. And this is a thing moving through the collective. And I am not making this shit up. This is happening more and more, and we're seeing it in results in the actions that are happening in the world, in the movement of the shit that's transpiring in the physical form. And if you are doing any kind of work in the world by spreading joy, light, and love, healing abilities, you're a target. So this podcast was created for you. And for those of you that are new to spirituality, pay attention into this podcast too, because this is a thing that all of us need to be in awareness of because it helps us accelerate our light and move through our next levels in spiritual evolution. So, no further ado, welcome. Episode 53 of the Light Warriors Unleashed podcast. All right, everybody. This conversation today is going to be a little bit different in energetics because I think that there is a lot of energy moving through the world right now in connection with distortion, but also in connection with our purity of light and us connecting inwards. And there's a lot of people out there doing the work, meaning they're listening to their intuition, they're connecting in deeper. And there's this floating around of energy that's creating some dynamics. Is what I'm going to call it. Let's call it dynamics, to say the least. Okay. So let's firstly talk about spirit guides. I want to talk about this because I've had conversations about this coming into 2024. I'm going to be launching a beginner spirituality kind of group. And it's going to be all juicy and all movement oriented and like all about learning the dynamics of spirituality because every single day there are more and more people awakening. And some of you guys, as you know, awakened in these massive, here it is, one day you can't see spirits, the next day you can. And some of you guys have been trickling into this and curious about it for a long time. You know, for me, it was 14 years ago, moving into 15 years ago, that I started doing the work intentionally, spiritually, but I was always connected. Just most of my life, I purposely did opposing to my intuition, which created, if you guys heard some of the stories, if you've been listening to this podcast for a while, created some such interesting dynamics in my life that I choose to own and I will continue to own. And I will be in that space of ownership in connection with this because, you know, I've had some pretty interesting journeys, we're going to call it that. But one of the dynamics that I want to kind of lean into a little bit right now is our mechanism to connect into our spirit guides, to connect into our higher self, to connect into dimensional beings. Now, there's a lot of people that have come on this podcast that are way far out there in connection with this subject matter. I'm going to play twofold today. I want to talk the beginning parts, but I also want to talk about what the fuck is happening right now that people need to start to pay attention to. This dropped into my field twice today, literally. And you know, guys know how I do these solo episodes in the fucking real-time moment. Okay. So this is important. We have this conversation. So we have spirit guides in our life that are here to help support our mission on earth. Some of them are here with us the long term. We have a one main guide that is here for us consistently throughout this whole entire lifetime that we are incarnated in this body, in this mission here on earth that we're in. And then we have other guides that drop in and out to help serve as we move through lessons, as we move through life, as we need more support. And we can actively call in these guides. We can actively ask for more help in our health, for more help in our relationships, for more dynamics here. Now, a couple of things that I really want you to start to pay attention to, though, is just because you're asking for spirit guides does not mean they're coming in the purity of light. Okay, this is important. Before 5 years ago, 10 years ago, the veil wasn't as thin. The distortion on earth wasn't as dominant right now. It's ramping up. We're seeing it heavily in the earth right now. Mental illness, this is linked to shadow fucking energy. We're seeing it with all the chaos that's happening in the world, with all of these elitists like fucking doing bullshit stuff in the world because they're possessed with a shadow energy in their mechanism of creating. So when we start to lead in this light and we really start to work within us, we've got to pay attention to who we're fucking tapping into. And protection protocols have never been more important today than they ever have been, ever. A daily thing that needs to start happening for us to protect our energy. This isn't how it used to be. This isn't like, oh shit, I'm just going to burn some sage and we're going to fucking clear the energy. No, this is not how it works. Intention, using tools like sage and crystals amplify, but we also need to be clear in our intentions and hold an energetic capacity and move energy through. That's why the Akashic Records clearings are so fucking potent. And for some of you guys that don't know what the Akashic Records are, I'll probably do an episode on this, but I do have a video on my YouTube channel that you can go to take a look at. It's going to be buried a little bit deeper, but it's there about what the Akashic Records actually are. So you can go ahead and like go take a listen to that and what that actually means. But it's the purity of your light. Now, each single person, when they drop into this earth, has a protection mechanism around their soul. Most of the people now on the earth have no fucking shields. They have no protection. And those, even in the spiritual world, are working without protection. You know, I have a person in my life that said to me, I would love it if I could get you like on my table and I could do some energy work on you. And I was like, guys, I don't just do energy work with anyone. I cannot do energy work with everybody and just with anyone. They have to be a qualified energetic being that actually can hold a certain capacity of protecting their own energetic field, because I am a disruptor. I am a dismantler of conformity. I am in people's life to activate the fuck out of their light, which means I'm a target. I get fucking targeted all the goddamn time. For those of you guys out there that are healing people, for those of you out there that are accelerating light in the world, for getting people into clarity, for getting them to move forward in life, for getting them to embody who they truly are and step into this power inside of them, you're a fucking target too. Which means doubt and shadow and fucking, you know, pushing the boundary and self-sabotage and you questioning your worth are key dynamics that are showing fucking up in the world. And you've got to keep your energetics clean. Who the fuck are you channeling? Who's coming into your field? This isn't now like okay, I'm sending an intention. Like, I'm fucking using sacred geometry and light language to enforce protocols, God, every day. I am qualifying energies coming into my field before they step into this space to serve the programs that I'm offering. All of you guys need to have some discernment here if you are desiring to hold your light more potently and actually take action here. If you right now know what you're meant to do, but you are procrastinating, you are lacking motivation, you are doubting yourself, you are fucking in shadow, which means something's in your field that needs to be cleared. And it's time to take action there. And now sometimes we just need a break, and sometimes we need like a recluse. Like, I get headaches when I am desiring my body needs to recalibrate. And now I'm listening. I'm like, okay, like today, I went up to San Isidro, a town that's about an hour and a half from us. That's where Walmart is. And it's kind of interesting, you know, like I was like an anti-Walmart person in Canada, but now it's like, we're going to Walmart. I'm going to Walmart. Yes, I can't wait to get to Walmart because Walmart has shit that I need, you know, like, and it's not high quality stuff. I could drive to San Jose, which is 3.5 hours from where I live, to get more like crate and barrel, high quality stuff. But I'm like, I need a quick fix, you know, like I need a new broom that I can't buy in the town I live in. Maybe I can buy it in another town, but I'm like, fuck, I'm just not wasting all that energy trying to find a broom that I want. I'm going to Walmart. So I trekked up the mountain today with a girlfriend of mine, and then, you know, we did our thing, came back, and I was tired coming back. And not because I was tired of driving. I was energetically, I'd held a certain capacity, and now it was like, your body needs to reset. So I did. I actually moved my own personal coaching call today to tomorrow so that I could hold more energy there to execute, so that I could take space in between to be able to move this energy through, to be able to record this podcast because I was delayed, to be able to hold energy for the clearing I need to do tonight with my other client, because that takes energetics. If you are doing any kind of work in this field, you need to start paying attention to your energy. What does this fucking feel like? You need to start being proactive in holding your light. If you are speaking truth in the world in any way, shape, or form, you're a target. And not just for an algorithm on Instagram, for your energetic field. Because if you go down, guess what's happening? That light's not going into the world, illuminating people. If you are doing any type of yoga, breath work, any type of sovereign energetics, sovereignty moving through the world, you're a target. Now, for some of you that aren't in business, this pertains to you. This also is in your relationships. This also is in the environments you live in. This also is in the way you show up in life. Are you feeling this call? Are you feeling drained in your energy? What is disconnected in your world? Is your field clear? If you're working with me, most likely it is, unless you've been tapped out and you've been fucking around somewhere, right? Because of the fact that I set an intention before we jump on calls every single fucking time, every time. And I am being directed even today as I speak to you in this microphone right here, right now, to even up my ante, to even up my amplify, because I know it pings me right away when something's off. I'm like, something's in my field. What the fuck is it? We got to get it out. And I've been working a lot right now with some demonic energies and blocking demonic energy, not just for people that I'm clearing, but also too in some of the landscapes of past people in my world. And they're all fucked up. And I say that with so much love and respect because of the fact that they're choosing not to move through. They're choosing, making a choice to stay in the fucking energy that's holding them there. They're choosing that. So our spirit guides can be shadow energy if we're not fucking paying attention. And then that is whispering in your ear. And sometimes you maybe think you're talking to your higher self, but you're not, because your energy isn't clean, which means that you just distorted the energetic field between you and divinity. There's a war of energy happening on this earth and in the ethers. There's a war going on. And I say that with so much love and respect. It's not with nukes. The war is an energetic war. You are a pawn and a player in this war because you're incarnated on earth with a mission of light, because you would not be listening to a Light Warriors Unleashed podcast if you weren't. Trust me, I know. You wouldn't have got through the gate to find this fucking podcast. You needed this message here today to pay attention. And if you've been listening over the last 3 weeks, this mechanism is moving through, and every single time it comes up into my field, my girlfriend was like, you should not be using that aluminum kettle that is on your thing. And I love this kettle. And every single time I was drinking this coffee, it felt off to me. And I said, am I supposed to not be drinking coffee? Fuck, Colleen, you're not paying fucking attention. So guess what? I bought a new kettle. I threw it out and I bought a new kettle today that's stainless steel. And I went, because I'm like, I hear you. All of this is showing up in our field of awareness. So I wanted to talk to you guys about energy today and about your channeling efforts. I had someone say to me today, they were like, I was told in my Akashic records that you would do this and this for me inside of this space. And I was like, girl, I don't know who you've been talking to, but that isn't truth, because there's an energetic, like sometimes, I may barter energy. Like I may be like, yeah, let's do that, or you can do this. But this specific program needs an energetic exchange to up level the people that are holding it. Not everybody can get through the gate into this program. Okay. And I'm not saying this from an ego perspective. This is from the keepers of the Akashic records. This isn't me. This is from them. And they're like, no, this isn't going to work. So I was like, I don't know who you're talking to, which then sprung on something else. And one of my other clients said to me about intuition and literally protecting her energy with some family members. And I went, this is a thing. And then today it dropped in like, someone's peaked in your energy. And I went, okay, we're talking about this because your energetics needs to be clean. And part of your protocols or rituals every day needs to be this. And yeah, it's another thing on your fucking to-do list, but do you want to go through life in chaos and fucking struggling instead of owning your light and actually amplifying in the world and actually having a desired life and an outcome that you have the pleasure that you actually want? That's what I'm talking about here. Keeping our fields clean in all the ways, and not drinking from aluminum and yeah, I'm going to own this. Okay. Like I'm a fucking human too. Remember, like I'm going to own this. Tis, Colleen, bad thing. But I really just like the kettle. Like it was actually just this beautiful little, like, anyways, I'm over it. Okay. It went in the garbage. It's gone. And now I have a new kettle that actually aesthetically looks posh, matches my place, like just makes sense. Okay. In the world of upgrading. Okay. Let's just call it that. And I'm going to actually make a coffee after I get off this podcast before my client call and feel the vibration of what this alignment feels like now. And this kettle whistles, just saying. So like it's those, I know it's so small, but so big in the perspective of, right? And like I got on my IVs this weekend for the vitamins that I take in, and I got hydrogen peroxide this time around because something is happening in my body that needs to be flushed out. And I just got called to get it done. So I made a decision like, this is it. I'm all in for this. This is what I desired. Put it in me. And now I'm moving through this new energetics in my body, removing toxicities, killing off antifungal, antiviral, antibacterial in the body. And guess who's been sneezing a lot today? Me, because it's got to move out. It's got to come out in all different ways. So paying attention to the toxicity in your life. And I want to speak to the energy today, but it's also showing up in all these other forms, in our bodies, in our relationships, in our thought processes, in our environments. All of this is pertinent. Who are you speaking to? So do you drop into protocol when you are like connecting in, when you even pray to God? Are you going into protocol? Are you clearing your energy field when you meditate and you connect in deeper? Are you paying attention to the energy around you? Right? Are you moving through this cleanliness of energy? And if some of you are like, I don't know how to fucking do that, I'm teaching a program in November exactly on this, that you get to meet your own protection team and you get to connect in deeper to that. And some of you are in this program already that are listening, and some of you need this program. So actually, I think I have a landing page up for it already. And it's been selling already in the background of offers. If I do, I'll throw it in the links. If not, just send me a DM. Send me a DM if you're like, this is my program, I need to be in this. I get it. Guys, I understand this dynamic of life. I understand it's another thing on your to-do list to do. But this is one of the most important things we need to be in awareness of now. Because if you have any shadow or distortion in your field, you are not in clarity, meaning you may start to doubt, a small little whisper coming in. You may start to like not acknowledge the fact that you are moving something forward and create unnecessary chaos in your life for that reason. You may be in shadow in this aspect of things where it means that you are irritant and you are angry and you can't figure out why certain shit's happening in your life. Guys, this is a real fucking thing. A real fucking thing that I really want you to feel in your body. When you're working with people, when you're working with coaches, when you're working in programs, when you're dropping into accelerated light codes, who the fuck is teaching that? And do they have a clean field? Just because someone says that they can doesn't mean that they are in the clean energy. You need to start trusting this call inside of you. Now, some of you get irritated with my fucking work, which is amazing, which means that I'm not the right person to be teaching it to you. But some of you are all in that you're like, fuck, this makes so much sense. This vibrates in my body. This moves through my field. This is the dynamic of what I need to be on. I know my truth. I know the work I work within. I once had a woman say to me that I was channeling the devil every time I said fuck. And I said, look, we can both have separate beliefs and both of those beliefs can be true. And I know the purity of the light that I channel, and it is not the devil, just saying it out loud. And because you believe that doesn't mean that it's a truth for me. This is a big deal, guys. This is a big deal. In the fields that we're working with, in the fields that we're moving through, we've got to be paying attention to the energies. If your massage therapist doesn't leave you feeling rejuvenated and connected, she is not in alignment with your light. If your chiropractor and you irk going into his office every time, they are not in alignment with your light. Guys, we need to start to vet these energetic fields around us and not just do things because we think we should. This is so fucking important in this next mechanism of our movement forward. And you will not be able to continue to move forward. If you're in my fucking world, you are meant to be illuminated in the light. You are meant to. This is the thing. You are calling it in. I put a call out to those that were ready, and you are here right now in my life on this podcast, listening to this episode at this very moment of time. It's time to do this work. It's time to move through your shit. It's time to own and take responsibility for your life. It's time to start to pay attention to the people in your world. If you do not feel good around people, what the fuck are you still doing there? What the fuck? There's so many coaches out there doing stupid shit right now in the collective, and some of you guys are still working with them because you paid them or because you know, you don't know where else to go, or because you're fucking scared. It's time to put on our big girl panties and grow some balls for the men. And I say that with so much love and respect. I'm just putting that out there like that. That it's time for us to move through this and take some fucking initiative here. This is not an okay thing. And when you're working in the purity of this light and you're working within this field and you are coaching people and healing people and moving energy for people and creating guided meditations for people and you're planting medicine retreats with people, your fucking energy needs to be cleared. You've got to be coming from purity, and the distortion that you fucking are playing within because you haven't done the protocols in your own energetic field are creating a ripple effect of distortion. Therefore, you're the problem. You, because you didn't take the necessary steps you need at every single time. It doesn't take a long time to do this work. It takes focus and intention to hold a space. If you are doing energy work and you are not fucking clearing your energy, get out of energy work. Seriously, you're doing nobody a service at all. This is so important at this moment of time in the collective of energy and what we're dealing with on the earth. We don't need any more distortion, guys. The fucking elitists are creating it in ample amounts right now and fucking so many people up. You are seeing it happen. The new narrative dropping in again about this stupid bullshit. All of this spanned, all of this stuff. Guys, this is so key in our energetic field. Who are you channeling? Who are you connecting to? What does this look like? I teach all of my people when they call in someone in the pure, of course I can't say it now, this is fun. Let me just swallow here for a second. In the purity of love, light, and truth. Let's say that again. In the purity of love, light, and truth. Archangel Michael, can you please drop in the purity of your love, light, and truth to protect my energy, to help me expand, to drop in through me the words of wisdom you need the earth to hear right now. You need this collective energy to hear right now. What does this mean? In the purity of your love, light, and truth, every single entity or energy I ever work with comes in that. Every single time. Because we live on an earth of duality, which means even the entities coming into the earth sphere have duality. And some of them, you see it dominantly in their energy field and they will show it to you. They can play in the shadow just like we can. Who are you channeling? Who are you talking to? What are you pulling in? Just because you open your Akashic records does not mean that you are working with just pure love, light, and truth. When I do clearings, I open the records and I can feel some people's energy in there where I'm like, whoa. Whoever's been fucking talking to these people is creating some fucking chaos. This is a real thing. So I just want you to be left today to feel this out for yourself. Where in your life right now are you purposefully avoiding? Are you not doing the work and you're half-assing your spiritual practices? And where in your life can you fine-tune this now? And guys, spiritual protocols and rituals are unique in their vibration. Every single one of us has different DNA and different blueprint codes inside of us. Every single one of you is different. So if I sit up here and talk to you about putting a bubble and then saying this intention, and I do it as a collective of energy, I'm not serving anyone because that might be mine, right? That's why the program that I teach is so fucking important, because you get yours. So I really want you to feel this out. If you are no longer feeling something is aligned in your life, like incense or certain crystals, or, you know, doing a certain practice in a certain way, and you're desiring something else, and it's time to move out of it. Take the action, be in that alignment, trust the guidance. As long as you're not in shadow, I say, right? This is so key. So our guides are here to help us on this pathway. But sometimes we drop into guides that come into our field, especially when we don't have protection around us, that just drop in and start to talk in our ears. Now, they could be other energies, but they disguise themselves as guides. And some of you, for some time, have lost all your guides because someone took them away, you let them go. It's not every single one of us has guides. So I've actually done clearings before where there's like a glass around the being and their guides are on the other side and they can't hear them through the glass. And it's interesting when I channel, I get that visualization that it's like, we need to bust open this glass We need to move this glass through. We need to abolish this glass, right? So I just want you to feel this in your field and feel this out about your spiritual practices and where do you need to lean in more? Because this is the actual work. And if you're an entrepreneur, this is the work that actually is going to expand your reach and impact. Your energy field is what calls people in. Yeah, sure, you can get amazing ads out and do that stuff too, but there's an energy on those ads. I guarantee you, if you look back on some of the ads that you've put out that really successfully worked for you, your energy was fucking on point. This is a thing. Right here, right now, this is a thing. And it was coming in hot, mostly for a reminder from me, but I decided to put a microphone to it and share it out to all of you. If you guys have questions about this, I would love it if you dropped into my DMs and asked me. If you're feeling this podcast, like I always say, and you'll hear it again in the end script, like help me share this out. We're moving this energy forward. More people need to hear this because they've been sitting in their fucking energetic fields now in their pity parties, thinking that this is just how life is meant to be. And it's not. We are not meant for this. Divinity states that we are meant to be beautiful beings of light in this abundance of love and peace and joy. And it doesn't mean that we're not here on a journey. And it doesn't mean we don't have duality still. And it doesn't mean that we don't have challenges as we move through and grow. It just means that we are meant for these things. And we're not supposed to be in this fucking destitute living life. So hold this in your heart today. Feel out what is the truth for you. Align this for your own field. And share it with a friend if you feel called to that, because the message needs to get out in all the ways. Trusting yourself when you are in your light. And if you feel like you're not, and you're like, fuck, Colleen, I'm not, start to dive into your heart. What needs to move for you? What needs to shape shift for you? What needs to come through? And some of you that listen to this podcast avidly are clients of mine already, and we can work through that. Some of you are in the programs already. Some of you need to step the fuck up, though. So this is your bright light asking you nicely to start owning your life and owning your shitstorms and taking initiative. And let's go fucking make the world a better place. And I'm going to leave you guys with that thought process today as we end episode 53 of the Light Warriors Unleashed podcast. And I'll see you guys again soon.